Hi everyone who will be joining us live. Welcome to tonight's live. As promised, we are showing up live weekly here on YouTube to share just some of the topics that I always want to talk about. Soft shell entrepreneurship. Today I'm going to be showing you how I remove my nails with the Efile for preparation of a rebalancing service. And if you are in my MGN course or any other training, then you may already know that my rebalancing is really a new set. So I'm going to be filing these nails with the intention of just treating them as a new set before I apply the gel, how I prep them before I apply the gel. So I'm going to be grabbing my Efile that I have currently. And what I'm using right now is actually an Efile that Melody Susie sent me a couple months ago. And actually, I gifted it to one of my viewers, as part of a giveaway. And since I just had an Efile mishap, like actually one of my Efiles broke, my son accidentally dropped it. I know, we were playing in my studio, not a good idea. And it broke even after I had just finished servicing it just for like regular maintenance. But anyways, I thought, you know what? This is going to be a great opportunity for me to do something that I've always wanted to do for you. And that is to grab a maybe not professional like grade Efile, although it is advertised as a professional grade. And the reason why I say not professional is because a lot of nail techs probably won't buy like Melody Susie a lot that are in business for, you know, as full-time nail techs, because they want something super reliable. They want a company that, you know, when we shop as professionals, we want to shop from companies that is their jam. Now mind you, Melody Susie, that is their jam. Efiles, UV nail lamps, and primarily Efiles actually. And every time they release one or they're celebrating something, they have an edition of one. So what I wanted to do is use one of their Efiles for a very long time, like as my regular, and then see how long it lasts, or how does the speed and the torque and its power feel, so that I can relay that information to you. Now, not to make this intro any more long, but I also just got off an in-person training with 4 beautiful girls from my community who are also students of a very long time of mine, also like 2 to 4 years. And we just had a little like mini mastermind, like in-person mastermind, small group. And one of them brought an Efile from Coupa, and you might be familiar with Coupa. Coupa, all they really do is Efiles, like that's their thing, that's what they're known for. And it was the smoothest Efile I had ever used. Like, so I am actually going to make the investment in that Efile, because I'm one Efile down technically, and I do have one that's a corded option. And I always tell you, buy an Efile that is corded, and that means it has a cord for you to plug into an outlet if you're in the salon, because you're just going to need it. Your battery can die. You know, this you might travel with and leave in another case or whatever. So just always have 2, and especially one that's cordless and one that is not. So I like those options. I still recommend that for nail techs. If you're DIY, Melody Susie is a great entry brand. Although these other companies that, again, manufacture Efiles also have like entry-level Efiles. Super impressed with the Coupa. It's a collaboration Efile that is made in Japan. And my student told me it was like $500, but I think it's on sale right now. So I'm going to get it for you and then get back to you on, you know, how it operates, so that, you know, we compare it against something that is $80. This was $80. So again, I gifted it to one of my viewers who want to give away. And then I went ahead and purchased it myself for my use, because I was like, you know what, let me give it a try. So anyways. All right, so I like to work with ceramic bits, but today, because Melody Susie likes to send like freebies in their packages when you order from them, they sent me a carbide bit, and it's like a medium grade carbide bit. And since I have long and slightly thicker nails today, I'm gonna use it to debulk the nail and then rebalance. Now, I might not be debulking a lot because I barely have any grow out, as you can see. But let's see what we can do, how we get there. I'm excited. We will find out exactly what we're doing when we start removing. So I'm gonna grab this carbide Or I can also, if you don't have a carbide, you can also use a medium ceramic. So here you will see a medium ceramic, which is typically what I use. And I'm tempted to use that because I'm not going to remove a lot of bulk really, because they barely are grown out. So these nails are not even 2 weeks. So if I can change my mind, I'm actually going to do the medium ceramic, just because this medium carbide might be a little too aggressive. And actually, I don't want to remove too much of the product because I'm just going to do a quick fill. You won't see me do a quick fill here because that would be an entire procedure service. And that's something that I reserve in our paid course, the Master Gel Nails course. So what you're going to see me do tonight is just get them in preparation, all the removal, for then moving into my Efile dry manicure and then the overlay. So all you're going to be seeing is the removal process, which is very important when you're going to be rebalancing. Okay, so let's get into that. We're going to do medium ceramic. I will link the sources that I get my bits from. It's actually one link. You'll see a list of all the things that I use. All right, so I've been shopping Melody Susie for many years. Been an affiliate for a while. And yeah, again, we're going to just kind of put this Efile to the test in a moment. I'm going to switch cameras here. So I will see you here. Cam link. There we are. You should be able to see my hand. Okay, I'm going to be using my dust collector. It will get a little annoying. Apologies in advance because of the noise. I'm going to get close up here. And because I am removing, even though I'm just removing a tad, not too much, I want to work at a high speed, okay? I'm working at a high speed. Hope you can see that even better now, high speed. And that would be, this Efile is 35,000 RPM, so revolution per minute. So I'm going to be working at a, let's see, we're gonna try to work at those 35. Let's see how we do. And I'm gonna mute it, but you're gonna be able to see my work, okay? Just watch my strikes, the way I move my Efile on the nail. I'm gonna bring this closer, excuse me, how far away. There we go. Okay, so just watch my strokes, like how I remove the the material from cuticle area down to the tip, okay? I'm gonna mute you so you don't hear the noise, but again, just pay attention, just take a look at how I move my Efile throughout the nails, okay? One moment here. Okay, so what you saw me do there is just do long vertical passes. That's how I prefer to do my removal, and that's because I get to feed it right into the dust collector. So again, my e-file is on forward. When my e-file is rotating forward, that means the bit is going clockwise forward. And that means that my motion has to be the opposite. So I'm bringing the e-file towards me. Again, if it's rotating forward, the way you would use your e-file is by bringing it forward towards you. All right. And then because you are removing, you do want to work at a high RPM. That did feel high for me, 35,000 RPMs. But it was removing product quite fast, as you can tell there. So I'm going to lower it. The vibration, I can tell you right now, it's minimal. The noise is minimal. So as a professional e-file user, I'm pretty satisfied actually at this point. I'm going to lower it down to 30. And now that I've removed vertically with those vertical passes, I'm always doing long vertical passes. I'm never just jumping in the middle and debulking, because you are going to create these little valleys in the nail that are going to make it really difficult for you to self-level, okay? Hi everyone who's joining us. Hi Felicia, hi Jackie. Which e-file I'm using? It's the newest Melody Susie. It's a pink one like this. A pink e-file like that, just released. Okay, I'm down to 30,000 RPMs, but because I'm going to get close to the cuticle, that's starting to feel a little bit too fast for me. And also, I don't really need the medium bit anymore because I've removed as much bulk as I want to remove at this point. I am not going to remove the entire nail. If you are in one of my courses, you know that I encourage you to remove as much as product flat, but that is when we have a rebalancing service that is between like 3 weeks to anywhere like 6 weeks, so 3+ weeks, because the grow out is much larger. But here we're essentially doing a fill. And a fill is a service actually that I don't promote, or I didn't promote as a nail tech because it was so rare for a soft gel services. The way you service soft gel is very different than the way you reservice acrylic or hard gel or any other hard products. So I do encourage you to, again, if you can join us in one of our courses, that would be amazing. I promise you, you will learn so much. And it's just different. Soft gel is different. You cannot use the same prep. You cannot use the same removal techniques, any of that for soft gel, which is why I love being a soft gel specialist, because I can train you, coach you, mentor you in that particular field. So here I'm getting close to the cuticle. One thing about a barrel bit, I love a barrel bit because it's going to allow me to flatten things out when I need to. It's also going to have more surface area and allow me to remove more product. However, the reason why I start switching over to a comb bit as I start getting tight into the sidewalls, the cuticle area and all of that is because it's bigger. It actually hinders my view. I can't really see what's going on in there. But when I do a flame bit or a cone bit, it's thinner there at the tip, and it allows me to be precise, but it also allows me to see how close I'm getting to the natural nail, to the cuticle area and whatnot. So it's a visibility issue actually to use barrel or flame bit. So now that I debulk, that's fine. I'm gonna get rid of this barrel bit now. My e-file is off. You always want to switch your bits when the machine is off. And I'm going to switch over to a fine bit, a fine removal bit. Now, since we just got out of this training, things got a little messy in my kit, so I may or may not have one that is fine. I have a fine medium. So the blue and the red is a fine medium. That's fine. I'm just going to work with it at a low RPM, and that's probably going to be probably like I'm going to start at 10 and then see how much higher I need to go from there. So this is a fine medium. I encourage you to start getting into fine or fine medium when you get close to the natural nail. And in some cases, you can also have extra fine. Say you have to remove tears on the nail, like striations, like perforations. A fine and extra fine ceramic bit allows you to do that, just kind of feather those bits off of the nails. So again, just some advanced stuff that you learn in detail inside courses like the Efficient Efile Masterclass. So again, not just trying to like pitch to pitch. It's just, this is really education that requires that you take notes and you follow diligently, and you know what this tool is for and what tool that is for that. And nail tech work is actually very detailed, guys. It's very, it's very technical. It's not just like grab this bit and you're on. You gotta manage speed, you gotta manage direction, you gotta manage the e-file that you're using, make sure you're using a quality one, and so on and so forth. Okay, I'm gonna go 10,000 RPM. I'm gonna start there with my e-file and then see how I feel. Again, I'm still on forward, so the bit is rotating forward towards that way, and I'm gonna bring it towards me in my motions. So I'm gonna bring the motions towards me. The bit is rotating that way, however, okay? Where my nail's pointing that way, that's forward. Okay, I'm gonna turn on my dust collector, so I'm gonna mute you for a moment. But just keep track of my passes. Like, they're long, they are technical. I get close in there, and this feels a little fast for me, so I'm probably going to decrease it at some point to probably even like 5,000 RPM. I'll let you know when I'm doing that. I'm gonna mute you because I'm gonna turn on my dust collector. Just watch my work. Okay, and at this point, I'm gonna switch over to about 5,000 RPM because I'm gonna get kind of close, because the grout is not much. So I'm gonna get close to my cuticle area, and I do not want to accidentally shave off any skin. Now I won't do it here, like it won't shave off here, but like towards the cuticle area, the slower you go, the teeth of your e-file kind of starts pulling, okay? Pulling and also like scratching, so it can catch my cuticle area there, that white eponychium, and cause me to bleed. So we don't want that. Pretty nails and blood are not cute together, so we want more of a fast pass, but not too fast where I don't have control. Again, this is why I tell you education courses are very important, because it's hard to teach you everything step by step and all of the precautions and all of that just in a YouTube video. Okay, I'm gonna dust so that you can see. Always have a dust brush, and you always want to file on a clean nail so that you can see your work. Right now I am at 5,000 RPM, and I'm gonna start getting tighter and tighter around that cuticle area. So again, just pay attention. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you so you don't hear my dust collector. Okay, so I hope you saw that. I got really close up to the cuticle area, the side walls and whatnot. And I actually lowered my speed. This is a great e-file. First time I'm using it. Low vibration, low noise, very smooth. So again, first impression on using it, fantastic. I'm happy as a professional e-file user. So far, so good. Now it's a matter of how long before it starts losing that smoothness or I start having issues. So I hope to update you with that information. Maybe, you know, in a couple months or so. Hey, thanks for joining us live. Okay, so now what I want to do, we're not going to be doing cuticle prep in this video. I want to show you again just what I do with my e-filing or my filing to remove and then reapply. So I just use, you saw me use my medium ceramic to debulk, even though I'm not fully debulking this nail because, you know, I can feel it. The grow out is very small. And then I switched over to a fine, but in my case, it was a fine medium because that's what I have. So fine is great, and that's going to help you get around the cuticle area. Once I started getting closer to the cuticle area in the natural nail, I decreased my speed down to like 5,000 RPM. And now I'm gonna get ready to file, hand file. And you might be saying like, seriously, like, didn't you do a good enough job? Like, isn't that enough or whatnot? And the answer is no, because even though everything looks smooth, when you e-file, you actually leave like 90-degree angles in the filing. And what I mean by that is like you leave like tracks. So the teeth of the bit, they're actually imprinted. Even though I went like long and smooth and like in one pass, I'm still leaving these like lines and tracks on the nail plate. And that is probably okay with acrylic if you were working with like a hard product, maybe not necessarily acrylic, but a hard product, whether that's hard gel, polygel, acrylic. But because that product's going to stay firm and it's going to just cover the nail and it's just going to stay firm where you put it. However, when you're dealing with soft gel is going to sink into all of the nooks and cranny of the nail. And it's going to make your self-leveling very difficult because as you're trying to build a high apex or you're trying to make the nail smooth, you'll notice that in certain areas, the gel is going to seep in like in a valley or so. So we want to get rid of any valleys, any low points in the nail with a file so that your self-leveling and your apexing is beautiful. It's high, it's smooth. The way we do that is with a board file. Wet grit 180 is perfect for soft gel. You usually don't need anything higher unless you need to reduce the nail, whether that's the top or the free edge. Which in this case, actually, I'm actually going to be reducing this nail. So let me do that also. And I'm going to do that not with my fine bit. I could do it with my fine bit because now this is thin. And yeah, let's just do that now. I could have also done it earlier with my medium bit and just started there, like reducing the nail. But now it's thinner, it should be easier. And watch me reduce the nail. If you're afraid to catch the nail with your e-file, here's a tip. Push or go with the rotation of the e-file. We mentioned that the e-file starts in forward if you're right-handed. And as it's going forward, right, forward, that's the direction of the bit. You want to go with the direction. When you are shortening with the e-file, you are going in the direction of the rotation. Not like you had been learning all this time from the beginning of the video that if it's going forward, you're bringing the e-file to you. So watch me do that. I'm going to put my dust collector and put you on mute. So there I was at max speed, 35,000 pushing forward in the direction of the rotation of the bit. And I also, you might have seen me, I thinned down the free edge because now it got thicker, right? Because the more in the center we get, the thicker the product gets. So I thinned it down a little bit. Now we're gonna move into the step of board filing, smooth out everything. And also at this point, because I have a lot of gel there, significant amount of gel, I can also shape right now. But if you guys know, in my course and a couple of my courses, I also like to file after the gel is on to reduce splitting on the natural nail, between the natural nail and the product. However, this nail already has product, so I can actually shape right now. Okay, I'm going to put my machine on a little bit. Hopefully you don't hear it too much. And the goal here is to get the shape first and then shape the body. That way I'm focusing on a smooth area with a nail that's already shaped. Notice when I'm using a board file, I go forward to shape. Okay, and I have a full course on shaping also that I can link you guys to. So here we are, you can see it's thicker, so I'm gonna wanna reduce that. And the way I reduce that is by going side to side like so. Okay, now I wanna marry those corners. So now I have corners right there and right here, and I wanna marry those corners. And I'm gonna use client's view, which is my view like this, right? You would also turn your client's hand this way to see. Client's view, straight first, right, parallel to that side wall there, and then bring it over. Okay, so let me bring it a little closer to the light. I notice it's getting a little dark right there. Okay, this should be a little better. There we go. Okay, straight, and now start rounding off that tip. Straight. And rounding off that tip. Okay, now I'm very happy with this nail. I like that almond shape. Look at that. It's really more of an oval. I wouldn't even say almond, more oval shape. One of my strengths, I would say, with overlays and whatnot, gel nails, it's really shaping, guys. My clients love my shaping. My students like my shaping. I like my shaping. And there's a few tricks there to making sure that you don't spend so much time in shaping. So I'll link you to that little mini course. It's a very special little course. It's also inside the Master Gel Nails course. Okay, there we go. Happy? Okay, now that I'm happy with the shape, right? I'm just filing underneath to be even. Now that I got the shape, now I can focus on the body of the nail. And again, you might be like, Paula, but it looks fine. Can you just put the gel on there? Yes, but you will struggle with your self-leveling. It won't be beautifully smooth. And we want beautifully smooth, right? Felicia says, what dust collector are you using? I'm using the Anemone. And I'm very happy with it only because it's coreless. And the section is fine too, like it's fine. I've worked with stronger dust collectors that are not coreless, but because of my setup, I really value the coreless function. And so I'm happy with the Anemone for that, okay? And that is provided by or distributed by Zillaboo. So it's from a Korean brand, Anemone, and then Zillaboo in New Jersey distributes this. Okay, now I'm gonna switch over. So I shaped with the 240. Love these files. I think next week we are going to be talking files because a high quality file is so important. You don't want this to be paper thin where you might accidentally cut your clients. You don't want these grits to be like falling off as you're filing. So a good quality file is very important. And I think that's going to be next week's topic. So make sure you join us again Thursdays at 7 p.m. If it's not next week, it will certainly be a topic because it's definitely worthy. Okay, now I gotta file the body. So I'm gonna go long strokes, long passes, And I'm gonna start at the bottom, so like at the free edge of the nail. And then I'm gonna go the other way. Okay. Okay, just a little bit. If you're using a high quality file, it shouldn't take too long. And now, moving it over towards the higher part of the gel that was remaining. Nice and smooth, especially around that side wall. Okay, bring it around. Little high points, so I'm reducing. Whenever you go back and forth, you're reducing. If you're shaping, you always want to go in one direction. But if you are reducing or smoothing out, back and forth. Okay. All right. Now, one last thing. And you might be thinking I'm being extra, right? You're like, Paula, do you really, really need that? Well, I can tell you that after 5 years of doing nails in the salon back to back, I wouldn't skip this step. And I wouldn't even skip it for my nails now. There's just no shortcut in the sense of like, if you want a beautiful, smooth level, self-level nail that's smooth, you're gonna have to do these steps. And you might be saying, well, adding more steps takes more time. Well, these are really easy steps actually. And the more you know your steps in order, which we're going to review at the end of this video so that you know them. And the way you get faster is knowing the steps and repeating the steps continuously over and over again. That's how you build speed. Okay, the next thing I want to do is the sponge buffer. And I'm going to go like that 100 grit because it kind of matches that 180 on a board file. And I want to smooth out. And the principle is the same, that my 180 might have left some tracks in there, some 90-degree angles, right, as I'm going. So some sharp sides like this, right? Like just imagine like something like that on the nail, right? As I'm going over, maybe I left one here or maybe I didn't get it from the Efile, but primarily from the board file. The board file is still going to leave like squared angles in your nail, and that's going to make self-leveling hard with a soft gel product. So just quickly, this shouldn't take you too long. Dust your nail. Always work with a dusted nail so that you don't just file over dust, because your buffing or your filing is going to be less effective. So cleanse it. Let it evaporate. I'm just using 90% alcohol. We use 90% alcohol for soft gel. That's the adhesion method for soft gel. I don't do acetone. We don't do pH dehydrator. We don't do bonder. A good quality soft gel system, structured soft gel system, will not require those things, okay? It's all in the formulation. It's done. You're getting a good quality gel product. Okay. Look at that, how beautifully clean that is. Okay, so now I just want to do a quick smooth. This should not take you long. Same thing, bottom of the nail, that free edge area, bring it around. You're just smoothing any hard angles in there that might have been left with your board file. Okay, there we go. Okay. What I would do next is my cuticle work, or I actually would have done my board file, cuticle work, and then finish everything with the sponge buffer to marry all of the textures. Because when you do your cuticle work, you have a different texture from your diamond bits there, and a different texture here, similar but different from the board file. So your sponge buffer marries your cuticle work and your board file work. And guys, that is it for prepping your nails as far as filing, whether that's e-filing or hand filing. So to review, we want to reduce the nails if they're going to be reduced. We can do that straight away, or I like to wait after I've thinned the gel. Okay, so what you saw me do today was reduce with a medium ceramic. I will link you to everything down below. And again, we are using the newest Melody Susie, and we're putting it to the test, hopefully for a long time. so that I can recommend it as a like trusted and true entry-level e-file for beginners who don't want to break the budget quite yet. But just FYI, as I met with one of my students, I'm looking forward to investing in like one that's approximately $500 because it was so smooth. The smoothest e-file I've ever used thus far. And it's from Coupa. It's a collaboration e-file with a Japanese gel nail artist, which is so appropriate for us in this channel. So that's the story on the e-files. And then also we are using our ceramic file e-bits barrel because we had bulk. It was a big nail and we want a big tool for a big job. And as I got closer to the cuticle area, to the sidewalls, I switched over to a fine medium. And not only that, I switched the shape of my bit because it allows me to see, because it's thinner, and the barrel kind of obstructs my visibility as I'm getting closer to the natural nail. After that, we switched over to, after that, we used this bit to reduce. We reduced the nail. Now that the gel is a little thinner, it won't wear out our bit a lot. Like if we tried to reduce the nail when it had all of that product, we're just gonna wear out our bits because we gotta do that across 10 fingernails, right? But once the gel is thick, we're using fine medium to reduce the nail. After that, reduce the length, right? If the client wants that or you want that. We used our board file. So make sure you write these steps down. You might have to revisit this last part to write down those steps. We use our board file. This is a high quality 180-240 board file linked on my Amazon store. And again, I look forward to creating either a live or a pre-recorded video on files because they are very important. They are the tools that are going to help you get a beautiful, smooth, or a beautiful finish with your gel overlays. We use the 180 side for the body and the 240 side for the shaping, or at least to finish the shaping. And yeah, after that, I would have probably moved into my cuticle work and finally use my sponge buffer on the grittier side, so the 100, to blend the texture of my cuticle work, which I would have done with my diamond bits, and the texture of the body of the nail that was caused with the 180 board file. That should not take you long because the bulk of the work has already been done with your bits. As you were removing, you were also trying to shape a little bit of the body, leave it flat and even, so that when you come back with these two tools here, these files, you're not doing the heavy lifting work here. Couple extra steps, but I promise you they go so fast. Well, that is going to be it for our lesson today. I hope you enjoyed it. A couple announcements. Our Kokoist certification is happening November 3rd. So if you want to certify in the Japanese gel nail brand Kokoist and learn application of gel overlays of any length nail and extensions, whether that's full coverage tips or also any forms, then I highly recommend that you check out the link below and see the details of that class and see if that's something you would be interested in. Otherwise, I will link you to everything that we talked about today, whether that was a class or a product. And I'll see you next week again for another live at 7 p.m. On Thursdays, Eastern time.